And welcome back to the hot lap, the Madrid Grand Prix. Barcelona. What the actual? I mean, Barcelona might be gone. I cannot imagine the date when I potentially, looking at the track, but potentially thought, I want Barcelona to stay on the calendar. It was one of those tracks where we always knew it was going to be a boring Grand Prix. But still, Madrid. I mean, let's get into it. This is from planetoff1.com, and it's pretty much been confirmed now. It says to the surprise of nobody, after days of rumours, F1 has confirmed that the Spanish Grand Prix is going to be held from 2026 in Madrid. Spanish Grand Prix, Madrid. Now, in what's become, as we pretty much know, F1's worst kept secret over the past few weeks, it's been confirmed that it's going to join the calendar in a couple of years' time. And it recently had a demonstration run put on by Red Bull last year, one of their, well, not their most recent cars, but one of their cars, as well as hosting the F1 exhibition in the, wait for it, IFEMA Exhibition Centre. Now, the building's going to serve as a focal point for this new Formula One facility. And this agreement reached with the IFEMA exhibition in Madrid. This is going to be a circuit constructed a 5.474 kilometre in length, and that's going to have 20 corners. So subject to the FIA's homologation process, the projected qualifying lap, they reckon, is going to be between, around, it says here, 1 minute and 32 seconds in duration. And it will also have a premium paddock building tower with office spaces, VIP hospitality and entertainment areas. So the capacity of the circuit, it's going to feature both, I know, a dirty word. It's not quite the four-letter word that some people think, a street circuit. And traditional circuit elements will be around 110,000 fans per day, increasing to 140,000 over the first 5 years of this agreement. Madrid is an incredible city with an amazing sporting and cultural heritage, and today's announcement begins an exciting new chapter in F1 for F1 in Spain. Yes, Stefano Domenicali has said that. Completely agree. Madrid is a lovely city. He went on to saying, I would like to thank the team at the IFEMA Madrid, the regional government of Madrid, and the city's mayor for putting together what they think is a fantastic proposal. Now, it truly epitomises Formula One's vision to create a multi-day spectacle of sports entertainment that delivers maximum value for fans and embraces innovation and sustainability. Yes, sustainability. I mean, when we go and have a look at the next insert, I mean, this is the thing. I don't know how I feel about the Madrid Grand Prix. All you need to know about F1's newest circuit in Madrid, including what makes it so unique. Obviously, this is from Formula1.com. They are going to be selling you the Madrid Grand Prix, very much so. So their new circuit is going to be based, as I said, around this exhibition centre. The concern is, it says, just a stone's throw away from the Adolfo Suarez Airport, which is good, and only 16 kilometres away from the city centre of Madrid. So is it really the Madrid Grand Prix? One thing we can't argue, the Monaco is the Monaco Grand Prix. We have, for example, Las Vegas is very much the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Madrid, I mean, 16 kilometres, it's not quite. For example, here in the UK, we've got London Stansted Airport, which is absolutely nowhere near London. We're talking maybe like a couple of hours. Okay, it's not quite that bad. But 16 kilometres, I mean, that could be as much as, maybe as the crow flies, but in terms of driving it, that could be as much as half an hour away from the city centre, which is just a bit weird. And then you have a street track. And the idea of a street track is going through the city centre, like a London Grand Prix. It's going to have key locations like you'd want in Madrid or Baku, for example. And this may not have it. But anyway, I digress. I know the proof of the pudding is going to be in the eating. Now, it's set to be split across two primary zones, with the first spanning the IFEMA's existing site, and it housing an array of halls, auditoriums and convention centres, and the second running through the so it would be the Vel Dead Ibas northern expansion area, and this is going to be served as a new subway line. And when completed, it said the venue will sit next to the Real Madrid Sports City Training Ground Complex and join a host of other high-profile sporting arenas in the capital. So F1's worked with plenty of track models, it says, since talks with IFEMA and their representatives, and it's led to this essentially 4.4 20-turn thing. Yeah, I mean, is it a street or permanent circuit? This can be interesting. So, the circuit will use both public roads and private land. So some sections are set to feel a bit more like a street circuit, others more like some kind of permanent setup, mirroring what is seen at the Miami International Autodrome. If we take an example from the current F1 calendar, and it said it's in between what you consider a normal street track layout and towards a more permanent style circuit layout. Wilson comments. A lot of the places will have a temporary circuit type installation, but then there's other sections which may look or feel a bit different depending on the final implementation. And what makes the track so unique? Yes, pray tell, what does make this track so unique? Sitting between the two aforementioned zones, it says, that make up the venue is an elevated motorway. How exciting! Meaning the track layout will feature two short tunnel sections to go from the Recinto Farrell complex. I'm going to completely ruin that, but you know, the Val Dead Bass expansion area. So meanwhile, the garages in the pit lane, they're set to split either side of the central section, stretch back to the it's just boring, isn't it? What sections to look out for? Okay, an area of the circuit immediately name-checked by Wilson is between turn 7 to turn 9, which is to be quite steeply downhill thanks to the rise after the tunnel transition. Elsewhere, there's a large radius turn 10, which is going to be banked. Think, I guess, Zandvoort with their banked last corner. And discussions are ongoing to how banked they are going to make it, with a mind of how we can turn turn 11 and turn 12 into a potential overtaking action area. It's all PR speak, obviously. They love their street circuits, don't they? But it's not, if you are a fan of Barcelona, it's absolutely not all doom and gloom. Barcelona circuit organisers, this is from Formula1.com, target a 5-year contract extension. Yeah, so Madrid returned to the calendar. The Circuit de Catalunya are still fighting to keep their place. Please do. The Spanish Grand Prix, whilst far from the most celebrated event in F1, it says, has seen numerous landmark races. We've got Schumacher's masterclass in the wet in 1996. That was quite good. Pastor Maldonado's win. A couple of Hamilton's wins were quite good. And we had Hamilton's and Verstappen's strategic battle in 2021, perhaps being the most recent example. Now, Madrid has flirted with an entry before for some time. So on paper, its continuation in the calendar after the expiration of its contract in 2026 seems unlikely. Yes, aside from America and Italy, no other country enjoys the luxury of two Grand Prix, and a growing number of venues competing for the F1 slot. Competition's only going to rise. Says Formula Uno. It will. Still, the president of Spain's RACC, Josep Mathieu, made clear that today's news will not be taken as a death sentence for the Barcelona circuit. He said, today Madrid has presented their Grand Prix, which they will host from 2026 onwards. We are working to renew. We have held talks with F1 for over a year, and we believe that in the next few months we will have a chance to extend our contract. Very positive. We will fight to keep the race in the future. Our intention is to achieve a 5-year contract at the minimum. So 2 tracks in Spain. These comments provide additional clarity on the situation regarding the Spanish Grand Prix, yada, yada, yada. Okay, but what's going to be, what is going to be the reaction to it? Yes, as we know, Mr. Verstappen's probably not going to be a fan, although I'm not too sure he's officially come out. I just used it as a picture. So, GP blog, it's quite interesting, by Luco van den Dalen, possibly a friend, a countryman of Max Verstappen. So he goes, Madrid means another circuit, a street circuit on their calendar. How would Verstappen like it? The 3-time, champion. The Dutchman would rather see traditional tracks take place that made the sport what it is, and also prefer F1 to stay away from street circuits, which is the same feeling I get from a lot of Formula 1 fans. And when I first saw the layout of the circuit, it reminded me of a fist with a finger raised. In this case, if it all persists, they're not massive fans. Madrid won't be as much fun as people think. He said, visiting the future Grand Prix in Madrid sounds attractive, but in reality, hotels will be difficult, it's saying. And after all the sky-high investment that needs to be recouped, it's going to be very expensive, they think. There may come a time, and it seems even closer, when Formula 1 alienates so much from the fans. Yeah, absolutely. They've got a good point. We've also got ESPN reaction. By adding Madrid, F1 is risking street circuit saturation. absolutely agree. Now, Madrid is the latest city to get on the Formula One boon with a street race, it says, set to be added to the calendar in 2026. But the reaction to the new venue has been, they've basically said, mixed at best. Now, a street race has become a loaded term in Formula One. To some critics, it can be an overwhelmingly negative description of a venue with an expectation of a processional race following the leader. Although it says there have been great, good and bad examples of that type of event throughout the sport's history. Whether for or against the concept, it's impossible to ignore this trend. And this is the worrying trend that I think a lot of fans are going to have. This year, seven of the 24 races will be street races. Madrid would extend that to 8. One is arguably the most famous of all. We've got Monaco, and Singapore became F1's first night race in 2008. We've got Melbourne and Baku have established themselves. I never think of Melbourne as a street circuit, but it is, as popular events. And then you've got Las Vegas, Miami, Saudi Arabia have been added this decade. Is F1 reaching the saturation point? I think it kind of is. I mean, you're looking at, it's not quite, but it's nearly a third of F1 races with 7 are kind of street tracks. And they've done it. Canada could technically be classed a street track as well. So it's not great when you look at Formula One and their street tracks. Is it a good thing? I guess the proof of the pudding, as I said, is in the eating. A lot of people slagged Las Vegas off, but it gave us what can only describe as a fairly exciting Grand Prix. So it's going to be interesting. Stay tuned, and we will speak to you soon. Thank you very much.